I don't know. I'm just trying to get out of here. I left. Come on now. Oh, there, Becky. I'm hungry.
Becky coming.
Kelsey Christine, let's go. Oh, I'm magic. God, I want $1 billion. I said, Kelsey Christine, let's go. You walked in, so I was like, I want $1 billion.
Your ears were ringing.
We are on. We are recording.
Becky, before the series began, you talked about just if you let Seattle get some opportunities, they're going to cash in and take advantage. Just for 2 grinded out wins like that, how pleased are you with the effort from your group?
It's never easy. I mean, that's a locker room that has, multiple champions on it. They know how hard it is to win, and when you're, facing a desperate team, anything can happen. And I thought they threw us a couple really good punches, but I was happy with the way we responded. So happy with the win. Never easy. It's never going to be easy in the playoffs. It just isn't. So we have that mindset going into the next one. No one's going to give us anything. Don't expect anything. Don't ask for nothing, because
it ain't coming.
Because it ain't coming.
Man.
For Asia or KP, just the numbers don't show it, but when Chelsea's hitting shots like she did in the first quarter, just how much does that open up the offense? And at the same time, does it seem like that she's starting to get back into her form and kind of leading at the head of the snake here?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely doesn't show it, but just the gravity, especially too, the time when she makes them. I mean, to me, that shot that she made, the fadeaway jumper, sealed the deal in terms of like the gap. I mean, she's just a big shot player, big playmaker. We have this narrative of like, oh, she's starting to get her form back. She's in her form. And a lot of times I think that it's like we look at these numbers and we compare them. There's no comparison. Last year is different than the year before. That's different than the year before. One of the things about Chelsea that's so great, she just does what needs to be done to win the game. So I think that number, if you across the board, a lot of people put up numbers, and that's no fault of them, but like Chelsea impacts winning. And so, like, ask any player in the league, high level player, I guarantee they want Chelsea Gray on their team with 5 minutes left, tie game. Like, they would pick her every time. I mean, I would. Yeah. So I think that says a lot, and I think that respect is why the gravity of when she makes plays, it just feels different. Like there's a calming sense. I think everyone in the building knows, like, she has the ball, it's like, oh, exhale,
I mean, and even to go off that, like, Chelsea is a past first point guard, but at the same time, she knows when to get hers. And I think kind of what KP was saying, it seems like all of her shots are like the backbreaker ones, the ones that we need, right on time, right on target. And that's what we're appreciative of. And like KP said, like, she's not starting to get back. She is back. And that's what I love most about her, is that she's just been working so hard to get back into the position that she's in today. And we're blessed to have her. We really are. But her shots, when they come, like, listen, when the game on the line, put the ball in Chelsea Gray's hands.
And just to add to her on the defensive end, I mean, we put her on Mercedes Russell, we put her on NECA. Like, she plays bigger than she is defensively, and so she impacts her. She's got some of the greatest hands defensively. Just getting out, active, poking the ball is a great. We can have her in a free safety mode where she can just kind of make plays and reads on the backside. She's great in that role too. So. She impacts both ends in a really great way for us and makes us really versatile. Today I just went with who I felt were my best 5 that night. The other night, AC was in that best 5 group. So it's anybody on any given night, and it's just about winning. Throw the numbers, throw everything out. What do we have to do to win tonight? And that's it.
For Kelsey, you had 29 tonight. From game 1 to game 2, was it kind of a reset factor that contributed to that?
I'm sorry, I missed it. Could you say it?
You're good. You're good. Was it a reset factor kind of from game 1 to game 2 that really contributed to your performance tonight?
I mean, I think I'm working on giving myself a lot more grace. I was projectile vomiting in game 1, the whole game. So to be honest, like, I kind of like sat yesterday at a sushi bar and was just like, you know what? I'm going to throw game one out the window, and I'm just going to start.
After you threw up, you went and got sushi?
She was
Then
throwing
it was
everything out.
it was the next day.
Game, it was all gone.
It was a 4.5 star restaurant. I mean, it's just like, I thought it was good enough. I wanted to eat like clean, That's actually, when I think about it, that's probably not.
That's
Not the best.
deep.
Hey, it worked. It worked.
Go back to
so
that
yeah,
space.
to be fair, I think like sometimes it's just like, hey, you know what? Scrap that. I'm just gonna start. And what's great about our team is that, Tiffany Hayes came in and just did her thing, And so I think that, one of the greatest things about being on a team with great players is that you just have confidence that anyone's gonna step up at any time and make plays. So yeah, I wasn't tripping about game one to answer your question.
Hey, Becky. Plus 15 on the boards today. How important was that, especially as they got Ezzy back and they didn't really turn the ball over too much tonight?
I just really feel like we have to win the battle of the boards every night from here on out. We have to, because our defense is great. Like, we got to reward ourselves with securing the ball. And so once we secure the ball, we're off to the races. That's the other part, is it gives us great pace when we can rebound the ball and get it pushed to the other end. So I'm really confident in our defense right now. It's what's been winning us games down the stretch. And then, obviously we have very talented offensive players. But the defensive end is where we have to make it happen. And you're not done on defense until you get that board.
For Coach and for Kelsey and Asia, I know you guys just won this series like 5 minutes ago, but because we in the media are annoying people, we're already talking about New York. This has been the series I think a lot of people have thought about, how big these two franchises are. I know you guys went 0-3 against them, but you had some extenuating circumstances. I wonder if all of you could just give your thoughts on this being a semifinal series and your thoughts of going against the Liberty.
You want to go?
Yeah, I think I said this earlier, but I think, first of all, New York is a lot better than they were last year, just plain and simple. They're bigger. They shot the ball at a better clip. If you go down the line, like pound for pound individually, all of them are better basketball players, so credit to them, I think that for us, we have to focus on what we do. We can't get caught up in now there's adjustments and things you make throughout the series for sure, but I think sometimes we can be our own worst enemy, greatest strength, worst enemy. But yeah, listen, they kicked our butt all 3 times. I think that, we got hot in New York and A was out. It was kind of like a weird kind of like matchup thing. But to be honest, this is a new season. And this is like fresh start. But yeah, there's no secret that they've taken care of business and they've done what they needed to do, and that's why they have the 1 seed. And so it's an uphill battle.
Yeah, I'll just say they've been the best team all year. They played like a team pissed off with an edge. And, we've worked our way there. I feel like we got our edge back probably in the last 3 to 4 weeks. It always starts on the defensive end, but at the end of the day, wins, loss, shots made, shots missed, it's all 0-0. And I liken this to our first championship. I really felt like Seattle was probably the best team other than us, and we had to go and meet them in the semis. No disrespect to Connecticut, but I remember that year they had some extenuating circumstances where Stewie missed some games because of COVID. Like, things happen throughout the course of the season that people don't know about, and it can show up in a loss at certain times. And I don't think we're the same team that New York has seen. We're not the same team as last year, and we're not the same team that they saw, in August.
Asia, I'll direct the question to you, but KP already talked about the first quarter start for you guys, but Jackie had all 5 of her assists in the first 4:45 of the game. Can you talk about how much she kind of had her fingerprints on the game? We know what she does on the defensive end.
Yeah, that's Jackie. She's slowly learning that she can be productive, with not necessarily putting the ball in the hoop, and that is where you get growth. And I think we saw that today with her. I know she was frustrated, shots weren't going in, but she was still finding people at the right time, and that's super huge for Jackie because down the line, that's what we're going to need from her a lot of times because she's gonna. It's hard to work on both ends on the side. Like it's hard, extremely hard. Sometimes I'm like, what did I get myself into? So I can only imagine what Jackie says when it comes to guards. But when it comes to just passing the ball and making sure that she's doing the right thing at the right time, that's Jackie. So it's going to come. It's going to continue to grow. And I'm glad she saw this aspect of the game because I think she needed one of these games to see that she can still be impactful.
It's going to jump to Zoom really quick. Nikias.
Congrats on the win, y'all. Just a quick question for the players. It really felt like the pick and roll chemistry between you two on defense really stood out tonight and in this series. Just mixing in the unders, the late switches, and things like that. Just what kind of goes into building that kind of chemistry on that end?
Nikias, wow. I say this because I feel like in the first game, really kind of had their way, and I think it does start with me. I feel like I gotta be better. What'd you say?
She said, until you said, I got to be better. And then she was like, because she didn't want you to take all the blame.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes A is not up to touch, but we won't talk about that. But sometimes I'm impacting the wall, so I get it. But, yeah, I think tonight was just trying to be first to the spot. You know, I think Scholar, someone told me a stat before the game, top 2 in the league in drives per game, like getting into the paint when she's so effective. And so I was just trying to get through to give my bigs enough time to be able to get back to NECA. And, yeah, I mean, I think it was a team effort too. I just think that we were more physical and I was just proud of the way we defended. But it was a team effort. You know, it's not just me on Scholars. Tiff, Jack, you know, throughout the entire game, I think she just saw different looks and just proud of the way our team responded.
Yeah. I think also the first game, we, like KP said, we were like not happy with what we were doing on the defensive end. So it was like, yeah, we won, but did we do things right? And I don't think we did. So this game, I think we were really paying attention and honing in on the attention to detail when it came to their pick and roll. Because Scholar and NECA in the pick and roll is good bread and butter. So you kind of have to defend it differently because they're great players.
Thank you.
We go one more to Zoom. Jeff Brown, and then we'll wrap it up with you.
Yeah, for Asia, your core group is the 2-time defending champions. How much of that experience, having that, kind of helped you in this playoff series? Because in the fourth quarter of both games, the game was still on the line.
I feel like we're just resilient. The core 4 of us, we know what it takes. We know that we can't let the game slip through our hands because we felt the other side of it. We know what that feels like, and I think we really use that as our fuel. We don't want to have those feelings anymore. We don't want to be trying to dig out of games because then you put the hand in the game in other people's hands, and you don't want that. So when it comes to just fighting through little things, making sure we're all on the same page and keep the main thing, I think that's something that has really stuck out to me throughout this start of the playoffs for us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.